Welcome, friends. Welcome to Kiss Up Cards. Keep it simple, stamping up. I'm Marianne, and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator. And I'm coming to you tonight to talk about tags. Tags for the front of your cards. So I'll show you what I'm talking about, okay? So this here is a tag. And I'm going to show you just some ways to make tags if you don't have any equipment. So I'm going to show you the way to make your own tags and then something else that I used to make tags as well. So it's you don't need supplies or other equipment, but there's many ways to make your own tags to have them come out. This is what we call a banner tag. See this cut with those banner marks, the triangles. This one I made a circle. Okay, so we'll just talk about a circle and how you can do that. And sometimes you can just stamp right on the card. Okay, so let me go to my table and let's show you some ways to make tags and stamping on them. All right. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I have a number of scraps here, and here I have something stamped from something else, but you know, there's always two sides, but there's always two sides to the paper. That's the magic of paper. So I'm going to show you how to do a banner. So you can see I have different thicknesses, and you can do a banner in each of those thicknesses, but I'm going to show you a banner. And I'm going to cut halfway in my faux paper and about an inch in. And then I'm going to cut from the corner and over. Okay, so there's one side of my banner. I could leave it like that, or I could flip it around and do the banner on the other side. Okay. So that's just a great way to add a focal point to your stamping images. Now, I've got one here where I've stamped Peace on Earth, and I've got enough room on both sides that I can add focal images, a bow maybe, or some gemstones that I can add. Okay, so that's the banner. All right, now I'm going to go to an angle cut. Okay, so I'm just going to do an angle cut and make sure I don't lose that little bit of paper, because I'll show you a trick. So I've got an angle cut here, but I want to have the other side be relatively the same. I can get it, you know, the angle's looking a little different. So if I hold that little piece, you can see that little piece there. See that little piece? So I'm just going to cut on that angle, and it gives me the same angle. Okay, going the same way. All right, and then you can stamp on that. And here's my stamped piece, Peace on Earth. You can see the two angles. Now again, you can put the angle just on one side, like this one, and then stamp it. Okay. So I have that on some cards. So you can see on this one, Peace on Earth, and the angle's on one side and then just flat on the other. And that one is on both sides. I got busy this weekend and did matting and fussy cutting cards, and just my area is just a mess. You can see that. You can see that around here. But you know what? It's so much fun. And I love it that it's all within reach and I can just sit down and work on it. I can leave it, close the door, and walk away. All right. Now, sometimes you can have bigger pieces. And so this one I stamped on a square. So a 2.5-inch square. And then I matted it. I could just do it that way and put that on my card. Or I could mat it and place that on my card. So you have different options. You can mat it as many times as you want. So this is a 2.5-inch square by a 2 3/4 inch square. and then you mat it. So that's just another way to do on the front of your card. And then you can angle this on your card. You can leave it straight. You know, you look at your card and you decide, how do I want to do that? Now, circles. I'm not very good at cutting out circles. I'll show you. So I started cutting, I traced one, but you can see my circle is not perfect. So I'm like, okay, so I can't trace something and then cut it out. But I do have a system from my scrapbooking days that I use. Plus I use what we call a punch. Now, I have misplaced my circle punch. Okay, so when I want to do a circle, I take the Stampin' Up! Has punches. And then with these punches, I can punch a circle. Now, I only have the 1 3/4 inch punch. They did have one that was a little larger, but they only have the 2 sizes. So you are restricted to that size circle. They do have a die cutting machine with different types of circle dies that come in waves and scallops and circles and that you could get as well. I'll post those in the comments below with the link, but I stick with the punches. The punches are great. So with this punch, so I'm just going to take this green piece, and I always work upside down so that I can, you know, get the circle out of, without using the most amount of paper, trying to keep it as, so then I have my circle. So here I cut, grab my other die punch. This one has scallops. And so I cut that out and I just stamped thank you and I layered it. Now you could take this one and just stamp on there and use that as well, or you can layer it as well. So many different options. It's just incredible what you can use for stamping. Now I also have a heart-shaped one. And again, one is scalloped and one isn't. And so I've just used that. So these label punches are really good because they're very versatile. You use them over and over. And some of these might be outdated. What I'm showing you might be outdated, but what's in the comments is current and available. But they're great because I use them over and over and over again, and they're easy to use. So that's just some of the ways to have tags and embellish your cards. And it's a great way to use up scraps. I have a tray here. I have one of those 3-tier carts that is on wheelies because I do wheel it around. And the top tier has my scrap designer paper in it. My second tier has my scrap cardstock in it, and my bottom tier has my cutting apparatus in the bottom because I often need it with that anyway, so I just have it close by. So those are just some ways to make some tags for the front of your card. You can get as fancy as you want with tags. You can get, oh my gosh, there's so much you can do. So yeah, you could just, if you have a corner punch for your cards, you could punch the corner of the cards and dress those up. This, you could just put a bow and some embellishments on it. It's just, so you don't need a lot of products to be able to make a tag for your card. There's a great way to make tags for your cards by just using what you have. Now, the circle one is the hardest for me to cut. It may be easy for you guys to cut, or maybe you have something at home that will suffice to cut the circle out for you, or you know, some sort of a system you have. You could do rectangles, squares, circles, strips, banners. It's just a great way to put some sort of greeting on the front of your card that stands out. So thank you for joining me. Tags for the front of your card. And that's a way to dress up your card so that you can send your cards out and we can send kindness out one card at a time. Thank you.